So I wanted to talk a bit about a principle called deep work, and essentially this is how you can make more progress in a condensed amount of time. Say like more progress in the next 6 weeks than you would in the next 6 months, or replace that number with anything: days, weeks, months, years, whatever. So the concept of deep work is essentially where you put yourself in a frame of mind where you're able to achieve and make literally 10 times more progress than you would in the same amount of time. So this is how I'm able to work only a few hours of work every day, but make considerable more progress. I didn't really used to realise this, but when I was doing a lot of work on my computer years ago, I'd have all sorts of tabs open, I would have all sorts of distractions open, notifications, everything. Although you feel like you're doing stuff and making progress, you're actually not. Like, you get this feeling that your brain is tired, and that kind of translates to the feeling of being progressive and doing productive things, but you're actually probably just spinning your wheels and just going around in circles. Or you actually zoom out on a bigger picture, you're probably not making as much progress as you think, which is where the art of deep work comes in. I read a book a long time ago called Deep Work. I can't remember who the author was, sorry. But the front cover of the book is like a picture of a light shade. And he talks about this concept of deep work. And although I'm not going to go into depth on the book, I wanted to talk about how you can essentially work 4 hours a day and make as much progress as someone does working 8-10 hours a day. The actual human brain can't focus for any longer than that. Like, it's almost like impossible. And when I say deep work, like, what is deep work? Deep work is where you are like really focused on what you're working on, and it's where time feels like it goes past without even noticing, and you just get obscene amounts of focus. Like, it's almost like someone has to like tap you on the shoulder to get you out of this zone of focus. It's a mad place to be in, and it's one of those places that you can only, like, the harder you try and get into this state of flow or this state of deep work, the further away you actually get from it. And deep work is like, I don't know how to explain it in a way that is easy to understand, but you'll have experienced it in your life where you're working on something or you're doing something and things just happen. Flow is like, it's like things subconsciously are just happening for you. And this applies to when you're trying to grow a business or do anything. So I hope you can still hear me. It's super windy, and there's now a truck coming past with some kiddies thing playing. It's an ice cream truck. Ice cream truck.
Hello?
That just made me laugh. Put me off a train of thought. So how do you get into this deep flow state? One technique I've used that's worked over and over again is something called the Pomodoro technique. And this is essentially where you get a timer and you set it for like short, sharp bursts of work. So the one person I used to listen to a lot was Eugene Schwartz, who's a famous copywriter. And he used to have a timer that he used to set for 33 minutes and 33 seconds, which is a weird number, but that's just the number he picked. And then he would work intensely on a task for 33 minutes and 33 seconds. And then as soon as the timer stopped, he would walk away from his work, close his laptop or close his notepad, and go and do something completely different, like play with the dog or do something that's not related to the task you were just working on. And what this actually does, this sets your subconscious mind to work on whatever it is you're trying to work on. So when you're consciously trying to work on something, I think your mind can only hold about 7 or 8 actual thoughts, and it gets tired very quickly. The thing though is, when you walk away from your work and you think you're not working, your brain is working overtime on finding solutions and answers for you. Now this is a lot easier now with AI like ChatGPT and stuff, but nothing comes close with the amount of thoughts your mind can process subconsciously when you're not thinking and working on the task that's in front of you. It's a weird concept to discuss, and you'll only experience it by doing this. Now, I used to work like 8-10 hours a day, and sometimes I still do because I enjoy work. I'm like a workaholic. But I used to equate the hours that I put in to the amount of progress I was making. So I would make, if I did 10 hours of work, that is better than doing 4 hours of work in terms of how much progress you make. Now though, I use this Pomodoro technique and just work in half-an-hour blocks. 30 minutes of intense work, go and take a break. 30 minutes of intense work, go and take a break. And I do about 4 hours of that a day. So how many blocks is that? 1, 2, 8 blocks. And I've done this for the past few years, and you'd be surprised at how much progress you can make. So my little tip in this video is go and give it a try. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. You will see massive amounts of progress by doing this for 30, 60, 90 days. I can guarantee it. Whether you are trying to start a freelance copywriting business or something completely different, whatever you want to set your mind to, try the Pomodoro technique, get yourself into a state of deep work or flow to do deep work, and look back at your progress of how far you've come, and I guarantee you'll be surprised.